Hello, 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 everyone. Oh, let's see who's going to join us tonight. I want to go ahead and find us on Facebook and go ahead and share with our groups. And then we will get started. Let's see. Let's try here. Okay, there it is. Found it. All right. Share. And we want groups. There's our VIP. And don't go that far. There's our team. Okay, we are officially live and sharing it out. Hey there, Miss Kim. So glad you could come join. Happy to see you. All right. So today we are featuring the Raven's Tail. It is so cute. And again, as I stated when I first saw this, reminds me of my mama. She loved the season. She would decorate with the crows and ravens for the Prim collections because she had all her decor was done in primitive. And that was one of her decorative items in her home, our home growing up. So that makes me think of her. And yeah, so real quick, we'll go through our housekeeping things. Oh, can't show that yet. That would be a no. So we'll get all this stuff off the printer. So we are now in August. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know we all have those crazy desks, Kim. I know I put a post up yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, everybody's trying to share their crazy desks. I think we've all got them. If you're crafting, you got a crazy work desk. Hey, sis. So anyway, we are in August, which is amazing to me that this summer is flying by. But anyway, we have a new product of the month with the new month, and it's called Glow of Harvest. It's a 12 by 12 designer series paper. It's 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 single-sided designs. And as you can see, it looks like really pretty fall patterns. It's got some pumpkins in there. Absolutely gorgeous. And with the product of the month, each month Stampin' Up! Does release a new product, and it's only available to those who place a $75 order. And then you can place it in your cart for just $5. So yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous paper. Definitely thinking I'm going to try to get in on that. The colors that coordinate with it are Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Golden Glow, and Pecan Pie. So really good fall color designer series paper for sure. As you know, Stampin' Up! Did release a new hot foil machine, and it is a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, I've been playing with it a little bit here and there, and it's got some gorgeous. The foils are absolutely beautiful. And I will tell you, in September, there's going to be a new foil drop with new colors, new dyes, and lots of new fun stuff. So if you are into the hot foiling, definitely keep your eye out on the September release. There's going to be Christmas stuff in there, Christmas colors for foil, and lots of awesome stuff. I will tell you, our foil machine, the hot foil machine, does only work with our Big Boss. But if you have another hot foiling machine that you use with another system, the dyes will work. So if it's something that you already have started investing in and you've already got a machine, you can still purchase dyes if you see designs and such that you do like. But if you don't have a machine that you're already using and you want this hot foiling machine, you do have to have the Big Boss in order for it to work, because the way of the sizing, it doesn't work with the Big Shot or any other die cutting system. But awesome, awesome designs, and more is coming. They are definitely expanding the line. Paper pumpkin. Oh ho. You have until the 10th to get in on the August kit. And you do have until August 10th to save, I believe it's 25%. They do have the August kit on sale. And then, of course, once we go back to the September subscription period of August 11th, it goes back to regular price. So if you would like to try it, but you want to get it at a discount, you have until August 10th to sign up. And you will save on that first kit. It does coordinate with the detailed flora dies here. And those will also coordinate with the September kit, which is the Aspens of Gratitude, which looks like it's going to be a gorgeous kit. And looking at the colors on this little sneak peek card, that product of the month is going to go with that beautifully. So just something to think about as far as coordination goes. And also just a reminder that we do have a lot of beautiful online exclusives that came out in July. We've got Halloween, we've got Christmas, we have every day. My friend Cindy and I have just released our July, what's actually our August class, which is the Stitched Season Suite product that we featured. You will get a full yard of the real red ribbon. You get a full pack of the adhesive buttons and a half a pack of the Stitch Season buttons. And the cards for this are super cute. You're going to make 6 cards, 6 different designs. So, because that's got the black twine. And here is card number 1. It's a Happy Halloween featuring our star, the Raven. Oh no, Kim, I'm so sorry. Hey, Miss Sherry, glad you could join. Hopefully Kim's buffering settles down. But this is our Happy Halloween Raven. I think he's so cute. We added a little twine bow to his neck. And then, of course, we have our little puffy stars. Card number 2 is our Nevermore Raven. We have some of the designer series paper. We have a nice circle that he stamped on. And then we have our puppy stars again. And again, a little twine ribbon. And then I think this might be my favorite. Again, it's Happy Halloween. And this one, I backed it with, I don't know if you can see the embossing on here. There we go. That is our new embossing folder. It's called the Textured Tree Ring. So it's got a lot of texture to it. It is a 3D embossing folder. And then, of course, we wrapped our twine around a couple of times, added our Happy Halloween, and, of course, our puppy stars. So, oh, good. Kim is back. All right. So these are the 3 cards we're making tonight, all of which are very simple. And we don't use a whole lot of product. I've used 1 stamp pad the whole night. And I did use a couple packs of paper. Like I said, I used the brights and then the neutrals of the painted shapes. I think painted. Wait a minute. I think I have the name. Oh, maybe I don't. No, I didn't bring it over. I brought the paper over, but I didn't have the. When I got rid of the plastic, I got rid of the name. But it's painted something. Painted. I don't remember. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I will tell you in just 1 second. Easy to find. Let's go to shot by category, and there's patterned paper. Paper and packaging, I guess it's under. Okay. And then we want pattern paper. And it is the Painted Patterns. That's it. Why can't I remember that one? Painted Patterns. A spot on my tail. Oh, right there. Yeah, there is a little spot, isn't there? Huh. It must be part of the design. I didn't even notice it. Anywho, okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Card number 1. We have a few things here. Oh, let's put you back in the... I have a thick basic white card base. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I do have it scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to get my bone folder here. I actually cleaned my table off, so I can actually have a little space here, and hopefully I won't lose things so readily. I hope. That is the hope. Okay, everything lines up. We're going to go ahead with our bone folder and burnish that out. So thick basic white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have the Painted Patterns Designer Series paper. I have it in the basic black and gray. The basics do come in basic black, basic beige. Let's see, we have basic beige, basic black, and I think that's it. I think those are the colors in here. Anyway, those are our colors, and I'm using the basic black, and I'm using the striped pattern here. And we need our adhesive. And I'm putting the pattern paper on straight up and down. And we're just going to go ahead and apply that to our card base. Well, hi, Rosemary. So glad you could come join us again. All the way from Marietta, California. Awesome. Well, glad to have you. All right, so there's our Designer Series paper. And then I have a piece of basic black. This is cut 3.5 by 4.5. And then I have a piece of basic white that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 to layer and stamp. But when I have a large stamp like this little raven, I do like to use a stamp positioning tool. So I do have my new Stampin' Up stamp positioning tool. Obviously, if you have a Stamparatus, that will work perfectly. Oops, he is sticking to my graph paper here. Let's get that down. And I am going to line this up with this little mark I have on my graph paper. And that can go there. And then what I'm going to do, I want him kind of centered. I'm going to put him down like so. Put the cover on. It's got these 2 little nubs. And then I can just press down and pick up my raven. Just make sure everything's in position here. And the reason I like to use a positioning tool for when I'm using a large stamp like this is I might need to Oh, you're in British Columbia. That's right. I do remember you saying that, Kim. You may have to stamp this more than once in order to get a good impression. I have got to say, I have had really good luck only needing to stamp this the one single time. Except for I think on one, I did have to do the bottom half a second time just to get a real good impression. But I will say having this tool does help. So then you got it back on those little pins. It's got 2 feet back here that do compress when you put it down. I like to just walk my fingers over the image just to make sure I transfer all that ink over. And then that looks pretty good. Again, I only used one time. I had to go down with the stamp and it was successful. But if I needed to go back down again by using the positioning tool, you don't have to worry about lining things up again. And like I said, I've learned when you're using large stamps like this, it is helpful because often you do have to do it more than once. All right, so now I can remove that. And I have my little friend, the raven. Next, I do have this little corner piece. Oop, and that is going to go in the corner. So we're just going to ink that up again using our basic black. There we go. Cover that back up so I don't stick my arm in it because I see it coming. We're just going to go up here in this corner and stamp our little corner. Isn't that cute? Me too, Kim. We get the option to stamp twice is way better than not having that option and needing to. 100%. Okay, so there's our sweet little raven. So now I can go ahead, add my adhesive, and add it to my black layering piece here. So we're just going to lay that down just like so. And then I can go ahead, I'm going to add some more adhesive. And then instead of going on here straight on, which you certainly can do and it'll look just fine, I wanted to tip it just a smidge. And I didn't tip it a lot, just a little, just so it's a little, I don't know, my word cattywampus. I love that word. I think it like covers my life. Okay, there you go. So there's our little raven. And now I have a scrap of basic white and I'm going to bring in Happy and Halloween. They are on two separate stamps. And I'm going to bring in Happy and stamp Happy. And Halloween. And you just want to make sure you get everything lined up pretty good. There we go. And I did not do well on that at all. So we're going to try that again. This time we're going to do Halloween first. And then happy. Not too bad. That was much better than the first time. First time was awful. Okay. Clean that off real quick. Then I'm using a banner. This is from my Stylish Shapes dies. And just going to get that like so. And we're just going to grab a couple little pieces of our Post-it tape. Post-it tape is a lifesaver when it comes to yes, I did know it was from an Edgar Allan Poe poem, because when I was in high school and at college too, if memory serves, my first year of college, we had to do that one in our English class. Don't ask me what Edgar Allan Poe had to do with nursing school, but they made us do English classes too. There we go. And there's our happy Halloween. All right, so these little pieces of tape over there so we find it again when we need it. That can go in our little trash. All right, so for the happy Halloween, I am going to find, whoop, well, it looks like, ooh, this row has some. We're just going to add a couple of dimensionals. And we're just going to have that right under his feet, like so. And then, well, let's do those after. Let's do our, I'm going to use the basic black twine here. And I'm just going to tie a little bow. There we go. Just a smidge. Okay. Then using our snips. Glue dot. And right there where his neck kind of turns, we're just going to sit that in there like so. And then we have our puppy stars. Yes, they are very smart. We were watching the crows here today. They're gathering up. I don't know. seems a little early for the birds, which crows usually are around here year round. So I don't know. It's not like they're gathering up to head south, but they are grouping up in a major way. All right, so we're going to use these little puppy stars, and I'm going to stick one right under his chin. One here. And one right here. So we have our little 3 puppy stars. And that completes our first card. All right. So now we're on to our Nevermore card, which is this one here. He's a lot of, thank you, Kim. So he's another fun one. I just had to pop him up with a little extra color. So this time I pulled out the Brights painted shape or painted patterns paper to brighten it up a little with a little pumpkin pie. So for this one, we again have a thick basic white. Well, thanks, sis. This is a thick basic white card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and squared at 4 1/4, just like the previous. And we're just going to go ahead and line up those edges, make sure everything is nice and squared up. And then use our bone folder to burnish. So we have a nice fold on our card. So now the designer choice paper, this is the pumpkin pie. Like I said, this is the painted patterns. This is cut 3 inches by 5.5. So it's going to cover from end to end. And I'm going to go ahead, add my adhesive. And again, this goes right to the edge. Make sure everything is nice and straight. And it goes down. Then I pulled out, this comes from the Artisan Sketched Garden designer series paper. There's one side, all of it is black and white, but one side has like the floral patterns, and then on the back side you have a more overall patterned paper. Some of it's just like little flowers, others are little shapes. This happens to be the polka dot. And like I said, it's in the black and white. So this is cut 1 1/4 by 5.5. And again, it's going to go end to end, but it's going to line up. Like so. So you get them right close together. You can barely even see the seam there. So that gives us just a little bit of a different kind of a look. I love the artisan papers too. I have to. Oh, my sister lives close by, Kim. She's very close. What? Maybe 15-minute drive, sis? Okay. And we are now on to our raven. So again, let's set this card base aside. And I'm going to bring back my positioning tool. In this one, I have another mark way up here, just because we're working with a bigger piece of paper here. And we'll just get that nice and straight. And we're going to lay that there. Okay. And bring back our raven. And for this one. We're going to peel him off our board. And we're just going to lay him there, smack dab in the middle. And pick up our little raven. Oop. And of course, he's sticky tonight. Oop. So I have to put everything back. Nose is itching. Yeah, that's I figure about 15 minutes. All righty. Again, using the Memento black ink, we're just going to ink him up like so. And then I'm going to stamp him down. And again, take my fingers and just kind of walk them around to make sure I transfer all of that ink onto my cardstock. And there he is, perfectly stamped. Let me turn that. I'm going to go ahead. Okay, set that aside. And then he will be cut out using our Spotlight on Nature dies. I'm using the largest die in that collection of dies to cut him out. But before I do that, I do have a little trick for our Nevermore. Right now I have it mounted for stamping, but I'm going to pull it off the mount. And I am going to reach for my pencil. I'm going to show you a little trick. We're going to take our pencil and we're going to kind of trace an outline of our stamp. You want to make sure you keep it steady because it does want to tend to move a little bit because it's not stiff. But that's okay. Okay, so now I have a bit of an outline there for my stamped image. So I'm going to lay it back on my block. I want to make sure I don't get it too wonky. I want it to be as straight as can be. All right, put my pencil away. So now I have that outline drawn, and I'm going to ink up my stamp, again, using my Memento black. Now I'm going to stamp inside that little outline I created. And there's my sentiment inside that little outline I just created. And now I have a pattern or an outline that I can now follow with my paper snips to fussy cut out. And I'm just going just inside my pencil line. So I have that to follow, but I'm not leaving the pencil mark. I'm leaving it behind as I trim this out. And there is our Nevermore, all fussy cut out. Get rid of that. And then, like I said, I'm using the largest Spotlight on Nature die. And I am going to, because this is like just fits, I'm going to kind of find the perfect. And then this one has to go through the Big Boss because my Baby Boss is not large enough for that. So I've got the Big Boss back here behind me. And I'm just going to run this through. There's our raven. Now we need dimensionals. Well, I'm glad you liked that, Kim. I hope everybody finds that helpful. All right. So now our raven is going to come back here. And that looks pretty good. And then Nevermore gets a dimensional way over here on the end. And then we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive. So that's going to hang off. There we go. Next, we need some twine. Sometimes this twine likes to twist. You have to show it who's the boss here. And there's times I don't want to listen. Okay, there we go. All right. And then we're just going to snip the ends here. So we have little tails that are a little more there we go. And then right there at his leg, just going to kind of attach there we go. And then, of course, it's not complete until we have stars. I have one here. I even threw a white one on this one over here on the polka dot patterns. And then we're going to put another black one right here. And that finishes our second card. Well, thank you, Sherry. All right, we are cruising right along. We are on to our third card, which, like I said, I think this one might be my favorite of all the cards we do tonight. I love them all. I think this raven is so stinking cute. This one might just be my favorite. All right, so this one, we have that embossed piece. Thank you, sis. All right, we again have a thick basic white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead, line those edges, burnish our fold, make sure we have a nice crisp fold. Next, the basic black embossed panel. This is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to run this through my embossing folder, which is, like I said, it's the textured tree ring. So it's this great big tree ring here. And I am going to place my paper in here right about there. Well, maybe a little bit lower. I want to capture the center of that ring in the center of, oops, it doesn't want to cooperate now. I want it kind of in the center of the paper. There we go. That looks pretty good. There's the center of this. I want it in the center of my paper. So now we're going to take it through. Now I have to switch over. I'm using the platform number 1 with the embossing folder with the paper. And then I'm using the specialty plate number 4, the gray plate, to run this through. So that lines up and then everything goes through nicely. Okay, there we go. And then we get this really awesome embossed piece. There, now you can see it. I mean, it's really deep. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add my adhesive. And because this is a really heavily embossed piece, I'm going to use extra adhesive, and I'm going to go extra slow, because if you go too fast, it can rip the paper. There we go. Because it does, when you emboss really heavy like this, it does weaken the fibers of the paper. So when you're rolling the adhesive, it can kind of catch a tear, and then the paper will roll right up into your adhesive runner. So you want to go fairly slow and not tear, because otherwise that will be the outcome. Okay, oops, there we go. There is our nicely embossed piece ready to roll. Okay, next I have another piece of basic white. Now this happens to be 3 1/8 wide by 4 inches wide because it's going to line right up with the black panel across the center. But again, this is 3 1/8 wide, 4 inches across. So now, again, bringing back our stamp positioning tool, going back to the original little mark here. I am going to bring back my little raven. I love the tree rings too. That is a really cool. And this little raven like just fits on this. Oop. Piece of basic white. I'm going to move him over just a smidge. So his feet like literally just make it on there, and he does too. All right, now we're going to place our, pick him up. Oop, he is getting sticky. But that's why I always mark my grid paper, because of little things like that. When it sticks, I can easily put it back where it belongs, and it's not no harm, no foul. All right, so now we're going to take our Memento Black again. Just stuck my finger in the ink. I'll have that ink all over something that I don't want it on. So let me just, there we go. All right, so now we're going to flip that over. Place it on those little pegs. And then walk my fingers over the entirety of our little raven to make sure that ink transfers. I know they have sticky feet for sure. Pulls everything up. But again, like I said, I'm prepared for it. That's why I have everything marked. Again, no harm, no foul. And there he is, perfectly stamped. So now, again, clean him off. Put his sticky feet right over there. And now I have my raven. All right, so now Mr. Raven, let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment first before we get too crazy here. I have just a scrap of a 1/2 inch wide piece of basic white. And I have my happy and my Halloween here. And we'll start with happy. There's happy and Halloween. Now, there's one more sentiment in this set I did not use, but this card, you could actually replace this Happy Halloween with that sentiment easily. There's Halloween. And that sentiment is Quaff the Raven, which that is part of the Edgar Allan Poe poem. All right. I'll cut those out and I'm ready for them. For now, we're just going to take our black twine. And on this left edge of our raven, we're going to wrap twice. And I know I have my, there it is. It's amazing when you clean up the things you'll find. Like, I can actually find my tweezers now. Makes me happy. All right, so now we're just going to tie our little bow. And we all know tweezers are like the third hand you wish you had when you're tying bows. Oop. There we are. That looks pretty good. We're gonna snip and the snip. Put this right back in the package so we don't lose it. And now we're just gonna add some dimensionals. And we'll put one in the middle too. All right. This goes right in the middle of our card. Right across like that. Then we snip apart Happy. And Halloween. Put that back in our scrap pile because that's always helpful. And Happy. And Halloween both get popped up on dimensionals. Happy kind of tucks under his chin or his beak, like so. Halloween comes right over here and over his wing a little bit. Then our little puppy stars. I'm going to do a black one under his tail area. Over here by the Happy Halloween. And we'll do a white one right over here on the tree rings. There we go. And that, my friends, is another Happy Halloween Raven card from Raven's Tail. Thanks, Kim. Can't waste our dimensionals. They are good to the last drop. Well, thank you, Sherry. Thanks, sis. All right, real quick, we'll do a recap. So we have our card number 3, Happy Halloween Raven. We have our first Happy Halloween Raven. And then, of course, we have the Nevermore Raven. Card number 2. Oh, you're so welcome, Kim. I'm glad you got to come hang out. I really appreciate that very, very much. All right, quick reminder. Excuse me. This is a free with purchase class. Spend $40 in my $40 in my online store before shipping and tax. I send you all the parts and pieces to create these cards. You just need to have your own memento ink pad and your own raven's tail or any other stamp set that you would like to replace it with. Feel free to do it with something different. We had a raven way back when too. So if you have the old raven, it would probably work just fine for this. I think it was a little smaller, but still would work. Anyhow, the other thing is, regardless of whether you place an order or not, if you're on my mailing list, you will get the instructions with the full dimensions and measurements for everything in your mailbox tomorrow. I will get those out. I'll get that all typed up tonight. And then they'll go out in the mail tomorrow. So my subscribers, it comes directly to you. If you're not a subscriber, you can still head over to my blog tomorrow after 9 a.m. and you'll find a downloadable printable PDF for it as well. So I do like to share all that information. So if you are on my mailing list, it will be there. If you're not on my mailing list, the link to subscribe is in the description of this video, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. Just as also a reminder, Facebook does, after 30 days, remove my videos, but YouTube does not. So if you're ever looking for a past video of mine, definitely head over to YouTube and you will find all of the past videos there because, again, Facebook, they do delete them after 30 days. They remove them. So if you ever want something older than the 30 days, head over to YouTube to definitely grab any information from a video that you would want from over there. All right, my friends, that is all I have for you this evening. And again, I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you for coming to hang out. It means the world to me. And I will, God willing, see you next week with some more stamping fun for sure. Yeah, so have a fabulous rest of your evening and an even better week ahead. Bye for now, guys.